Hello, everyone. This is We're Only Human podcast. This is episode 3. We're going to be taking a temporary break from the good, the bad memories this episode. Also, we're not going to be joined by our co-host Alex. Alex is scheduled because they're currently working, and due to Father's Day, we were unable to get a Father's episode out at the moment. So I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm going to start the mini-series about my experiences on Twitch and Discord. We're going to be picking up with the good, the bad, the memories next Sunday, which is going to cover the topic of fathers. And yes, we'll have plenty to say about that. I'm assuming that's going to be maybe an hour and 15 minutes, maybe an hour 20 minutes. And yeah. Let me just get some different music going on. Chill vibes. Oh, let me turn that down. Okay, so to start things off, I remember when I was a kid, I was watching a Markiplier live stream on YouTube. I remember he was playing Jackbox.tv. During then, I didn't really understand the topic of the game. I just saw that you can log in on your phone and then you're able to play the game with the play the game with the actual people on the live stream: Mark, Ethan, Tyler, Amy, and his editor Catherine, I believe her name is. Yeah, I remember that you go to a website, Jackbox.tv, then you log in with your username, and of course I wasn't ever able to actually join the main crew because he was going to let his friends play before anyone else, and I would always take part in the audience. But I was curious if there was ever a chance that I was able to actually play the game myself. So I was curious, and I decided to look up Jackbox.tv live. And then I saw that it was being streamed on Twitch, and it was being streamed on Twitch very popularly. So I figured, what if I was able to play it by somebody who's live streaming it on Twitch? So I went to twitch.tv and I would scroll all the way down on the viewers list because obviously it's because I'm petty, but obviously if someone doesn't have that many viewers, that means there's a chance I'll actually be part of the main groups of players rather than the audience. So there were a couple people that stuck out. There was this one guy who stuck out the most. This is actually before Tripod GG. This guy's name was Uptown Flump. He was a British streamer who would stream Jackbox TV regularly, daily, and I remember when I joined him, we had a good time. I had plenty of funny quips. I remember this one time, there was this one quip saying, "Give a weatherman a name," and I put Foggy Nelson, reference to the character from Daredevil. And yeah, I remember I was having a really good time on there, and then give or take about 2, maybe 3 days after watching his stream straight in a row, he just disappeared off the face of the earth, never to be seen or streamed from again. I haven't checked his Twitter page because apparently he had a Twitter page and there was no activity. He just completely dropped off the face of the earth, completely, like social media and everything like that, and we never heard from him ever again, weirdly enough. And I was rather upset by that because he was a really nice and funny guy. Apparently he did stand-up comedy, and it was a really good community. It was a really fun game, Jackbox.tv. So, fortunately, I had to give up on that channel, and I had to find a different channel entirely. So I decided I was going to stop by this one channel called Tripod GG. And those of you who know Tripod, he's been a great friend of mine. He's an absolutely amazing person. I absolutely love his streams. Love hosting him after some streams every now and then because he's shown me a lot of support and he's been a good friend to me over the years. I believe I'm part of this channel for like 5 or 6 years now, something like that. I'm not exactly sure. And yeah, I would show up for his Jackbox streams, and I remember this one time I showed up to one of his streams and he was streaming Golf with Your Friends. And so I was curious, I wanted to play it myself, and I asked Tripod, the host of the stream, how much does this game cost? And he told me it only costs $5. And obviously I had $5, so I loaded it up on Steam and I purchased the game and I was able to play with them. Unfortunately, though, at the time, I didn't have shit for a microphone. I did not have the microphone that I have now. I would be either using the actual built-in microphone on my MacBook Air, or I would be using these Apple earbuds that are basically dead. And yeah, it didn't sound good at all. It sounded like absolute trash to the point where if they wanted to hear me, I would have to like shove the mic to my throat and start yelling at it. Which obviously, nobody's ever going to want to hear that shit because, that sounds like garbage. So yeah, we would be playing with him, and then eventually I got to the point where I would watch his streams and I would be really good friends with people. There would be people all over the place. And there was one person in the stream, I'm not going to name names. Basically, I became really good friends with this person, and the pronouns are they. Back then the pronouns were just she. And eventually I became really good friends with the person, and then later on, there's a bit of a story with her. So, one time I wanted to watch Tripod stream again, so I went onto his channel, and I saw that he wasn't streaming himself. He was sharing another person's stream on his stream exactly. And that's when I learned about a Twitch host. Meaning that you're able to broadcast someone else's channel on your channel in order to basically promote them or give someone some content to watch while the main streamer is offline. And I figured, fuck it, why not give the guy a shot? Because I remember watching PewDiePie play Until Dawn, and then I saw the guy was streaming Until Dawn, and I really liked Until Dawn. I thought it was a good game. Never played it myself, but I thought it was really interesting and a really fun story. So I went onto his channel, and fuck, I'm gonna go and say this guy's name because he's not on Twitch anymore. His name was AnyStrom01. I'm pretty sure that was his username. I came on there and I had a really good time because I was talking to the guy and we both had really similar points and really interesting debates about characters' personalities as well as fates of certain characters on Until Dawn, and I became obsessed with his channel, more to the point where I became less active on Tripod's channel, to the point where I became more active on AnyStrom's channel. And it got to the point where I was such an active user that AnyStrom, he reached out to me and he asked me, would you like to be a moderator for my Twitch chat? And I asked him, I'm really unfamiliar with that because this is kind of my first year on Twitch. I don't know how anything works. And he says, I think you'll do fine. It's very simple to get used to. It takes a little bit of time, but eventually it'll be really easy and really good to have you, I guess. And my friend Sunset, he's Wispy in the Discord server. He's an absolute best friend of mine. I'd say he's my closest friend here on Twitch and Discord. So yeah, I became used to being moderator and everything like that on Twitch, and every now and then when I had, let me get rid of that bang right there, it's annoying. Whenever I would have some spare cash on me, I would donate to his channel just because I loved his content. Yeah, Cousins, I've said little bits and pieces of this story at the beginning of my intro, but I want to go into detail of it because just meant to say that there's a lot more that you don't know. Bang your Discord, let me go and turn off the sounds, forget about that part. Where are you? Sounds. Yeah, sound effects be disabled, but yeah, they're still on for some reason. That's weird. But yeah, I see what you're saying, Cousins. But yeah, so I remember I was a moderator for him, and of course I learned to mute people. It's called timing out on Twitch, and then I learned to ban people and stuff like that, and then eventually, yeah, I made plenty of donations to him, and then eventually the man's channel became so big, I would say he would receive about maybe 70 viewers per stream, which those are really good numbers. I would say that if he kept it up for at least, I want to say 2, maybe 3 more years at the most, he could have easily hit partner because he was already friends with plenty of partners. They were showing him plenty of support and everything like that. And yeah, he could have done an amazing job with this channel. But then something came up to where, so cut back to where I said earlier, there was this one girl, of course, back then they were a she, right now their pronouns were they/them. She was a huge friend and supporter to a billion different people on Twitch, all the big names. Ask any big name on Twitch, they would know her, and they would be huge friends with her because she was such a huge support to the stream. I remember she would have like 9 different tabs open to different people's streams at the same time because she was such an active supporter. She would want to show them some appreciation. And it got to a point to where she became so obsessed with Twitch, she decided, why not have a channel of her own? And she decided she needs moderators for that channel, so she reached out to me because I'm really good friends with her, and she moderated for AnyStrom01 as well. She asked me to become her main moderator / community manager, and I was glad to because we were really good friends at that point. And she asked a couple other people to come along as moderators too, and it was a really fun experience, a really fun channel to moderate on because, you know, it was a new channel, really positive, chill vibes and everything like that. And interestingly enough, I remember one point when I was moderating for her, this one guy, I'm not going to say his username, he would come onto the channel and he would say a bunch of very mean and rude things to the streamer, to her, and it got to the point where no matter how many times we asked him to stop, we just figured we'd ban him. And then that's when things started going down the rabbit hole, because no matter how many times we would ban him, the guy would keep making new accounts asking to be unbanned because he didn't think he did anything wrong, he just wanted a bunch of friends. And this would go on and on and on repeatedly to the point where he would even appear on Tripod's channel and he would ask him to reach out to the streamer in order to get unbanned. And it got to the point where he was getting banned from literally every relative or mutual server and thing like that, to the point where the guy was just gone completely. And I would say around the time I became obsessed with Tripod's channel, I'm sorry if I'm cutting back a bit, but around the time I was becoming obsessed with Tripod's channel, he introduced me to this thing called Discord, and that's where I was able to talk to them using my very shitty mic, you know, through my laptop and stuff like that. That was very bad, but at the time, I found it as a place to basically just talk in text as well as voice chat, which I thought was really cool. You know, it's a really interesting, innovative way to talk. Of course, I saw it as Skype, but the thing is, I just appreciated the aesthetics more. So yeah, and I remember during the height of her channel, she would have, again, I apologize for calling her out, she would have several different stressors. She had to deal with depression, she had suicidal thoughts all the time, and everything like that. And I remember whenever I thought she was feeling down, I would reach out to her, and we would talk on the Discord phone until about 7 a.m. most days. Most days of the week, maybe like 3 or 4 days a week, because she was at such a low in her life that I really didn't know if she had much longer left. So I would stay on the phone with her, try and convince her that everything's going to be okay, try and focus on some breathing techniques, and I was basically her therapist. Of course, I don't recommend this as a professional thing because, again, I was just some kid who was studied psychology for a while and got a little bit obsessed with it. And yeah, you could tell she wasn't in a good spot because she had a bad relationship with her parents, and if I remember right, she had a really, and I mean really, abusive ex-girlfriend at the time. And yeah, things weren't that good to where I would try to help her wherever I could, but of course at the time I was only like some 16-year-old or 16 or 15-year-old kid, you know. He didn't know shit, but the thing is, all he knew was that this person's not in a good headspace. Let's see if we can talk to her and try to keep her up. So yeah, it would get to the point where I would be talking to her until 7 a.m. sometimes, and I would even see the sun come up, and I'm thinking, I need to go to bed because I have things to do. Luckily, I was in online classes, so you know, I didn't have to get up at any time. So yeah, it would get to the point where she would become really unstable, and then this whole guy, who the band invasion guy, he would show up, and you know, things were just a mess. They were just an absolute nightmare because the guy wouldn't ever give up, and it was making her unstable in a way. And then cut forward a little bit, this one guy, he's a good friend of mine. I used to be a moderator for his channel, and basically he asked out the girl he asked out the girl, her, and they were dating online for, I would say, about 3 to 4 months, maybe 5 months, and it wasn't, I'm not gonna say it was a very bad or healthy relationship or unhealthy or anything like that, because I wouldn't know that personally, but I know for some time she would have mental breakdowns, and he would have to calm her down on stream to the point where he would have to put his entire stream on hold just to take care of her. Obviously, if you're in a relationship, you should focus on the person you care about most, but it would be to the point where he didn't have a life outside of that. And cut forward some, she would always be telling us things about like, hey, are you okay? We haven't seen you for a while, anything like that. She would tell us she would either be drinking, she would either be with her family and everything like that. And I don't remember exactly how any Strom pieced this together, but apparently he found out that a lot of what the female streamer told us, a lot of it didn't add up, to the point where it started to seem like she was not exactly telling us the truth to what she'd been doing. And then when I explained this to the guy I was friends with that was dating her, he became aware that, yeah, you're right, none of this makes any sense. Something is probably going on. Something's probably being a little weird. So I personally confronted her about this because I was her main moderator and I talked to her about it, and then she had a confession for me. Her confession for me was that she is 14 years old. She was 14 years old and she convinced a 26-year-old man to date her online. Obviously, as you know, this is illegal and it's a bit fucked up. The fact that she decided to pretend to be a 20-year-old woman or 19-year-old woman, and that she asked out a 26-year-old man. And when word got out about this, we were all in huge shock. And it got to the point where all her mutual channels found out, and they just immediately banned her right off the bat, because all those Twitch channels, those are marked as mature channels. So it turns out that on the very day that she joined Tripod's channel, she pretended to be 18 and above because it's a mature channel. And she always put on the persona that she was 18 and above. And yeah, obviously, again, this is just, it's insane how fucked up this is, because, she convinced the guy to date her, and, I don't even know what they did in their dates. I'm not going to say anything happened, because I wouldn't know personally, but I'm just thinking one can only imagine things that could have happened, you could say. And, the guy who was dating her, he started freaking out because, again, this is legal, and she very well could have sent him to jail, because she could have said, this guy did this and this and this, and I'm 14 and he's 26. And yeah, that was just a huge bad of chaos around the server. And this is a bad song. Let me switch this off. And yeah, we were all just in pure disbelief. We were all in shock because she was such a huge friend to the channel, and yet we didn't realize that she lied to us all. Of course, at the same time, you could absolutely pretend you're 18, or at least you could avoid the entire subject of that too. But it's still so messed up to the point where she decided to ask someone out, even though, again, she's under 18. She's a minor. She was a legal minor. And yeah, it got to the point where Tripod's channel got shooken up, and Strom's channel got shooken up, and everything like that, and it was just a whole mess, and everybody needed just a little while to just chill off after that, because she was that person that everybody knew about. Everybody was huge friends with, and everybody could always lean on her if they ever needed to talk, or if they ever needed some support on the stream and anything like that. And it's weird for me because I was basically her manager for her channel. I was in charge of her ideas. I was in charge of her scheduling. I was in charge of moderating her chat and everything like that. And, for me, it was just, it's weird because this person that I've dedicated part of my life to, I didn't even know I didn't even know exactly who she was. Because, of course, that's something you gotta be careful with on Twitch, because at the same time, you never know what type of person you're gonna run into. You never know what type of person you're gonna become friends with, anything like that. So, cut back a bit before we found out anything about the female streamer. I decided to look around on a bunch of other channels, and I found that there was this one guy streaming. His name is Moofle. For those of you who know, Moofle is an absolute great friend of mine. He's an absolutely amazing person. He has an adorable dog, James. Yeah, he streams on Twitch daily, every week or so. You guys should definitely check him out. And I believe I found him through Strom. He was streaming Tales of the Borderlands at the moment, and I became really good friends with him. He's an absolutely amazing guy. And I remember at one point I was his only regular. I don't know if that sounds rude or not. Of course he did regulars, but not as active as I was. And he decided that one day he'd make me mod. And I would say to this day, by far, that is my favorite channel to be on Twitch. Because he's just been an absolute good friend of mine. He's honest about who he is. And you know, he's a trustworthy person in general. And I know what I'm saying with me talking about the female streamer. This guy was different by far. I know it's hard for me to explain, but you'd have to see him personally yourself. And yeah, then he led me on to another channel of his, another friend of his named Falsey. Falsey's great. He's also a streamer himself. He co-streams with Moofle all the time. You should definitely check him out. And yeah, and I managed to become friends with these people, and it's got to the point where I would be personally reaching out to several different channels myself, and I would become good friends with them to the point where eventually I would become moderators myself for them, because of course, you know, people look to me as someone you can trust, because I want to hope that people can trust me, because, you know, I want to say that I can moderate for these people. I could be a helpful hand. And okay, so cut forward after we found out about the female streamer being under 18. And I remember, so AnyStrom01, he found this one female streamer. Again, I'm not going to say her name, because I feel, again, I don't want to give out too much information. I just want to give out what we have. I just want to give out bits and pieces, you know, just so it doesn't sound like I'm just sending a bunch of random information into this microphone. But yeah, she was a female streamer, and what she would do is, whenever she would stream, she would have a guest, you could say. She would just be having someone sit at her side or someone in voice chat with her, and, you know, they would just be commentating over the game. They wouldn't be playing themselves. They wouldn't be playing themselves usually. Sometimes they would, but typically they would just be a guest. And it turns out AnyStrom and this female streamer, that they actually lived pretty close to each other. So they decided to meet up, and then eventually they started dating, and eventually they got engaged. Because, you know, good for them, you know? It's good that you can find someone who has similar passions as you, and that you can eventually end up spending your life with. Well, it got to the point to where he would appear so frequently on her streams that he would basically put little to no attention into his mainstream, the AnyStrom01 channel. And it's interesting because before the drop in quality control, he would always tell us that if you have any cash donations, make those donations, and if a partner ever shows up in chat, make sure that they feel absolutely welcomed. You know, I absolutely understand that, because, you know, if you want a partner to notice you, that'd be great, because they would absolutely be a benefit to your channel. They would absolutely benefit it by hosting you. And it got to the point where he would try and be a parasite off of these partners. That way he could eventually end up being a partner himself. But yeah, cut forward to him being engaged. It got to the point where he became too lazy to actually do his own streams. He would just show up as a guest to hers. And then one day he just announced in his Discord server, hey guys, this streaming thing isn't really working out for me, so I'm just gonna cut it. I'm just gonna end the server by tomorrow. And you know, we were all pretty hurt and shocked by this, because we've all put in so many hours and so much dedication, donations, and everything like that to his channel, because we wanted to be able to boost the channel, because we appreciated him as a person. And it got to the point where he just dropped us like hot shit, you know, like we were chopped liver. We didn't mean anything to him. And, you know, that just really hurt because it felt like he was only using us for statistics, but the second he didn't want to use us anymore, he just completely dropped us, you know, and that just hurt. You know, made me feel like we weren't that special at all. Or him anyway. Yeah, it does suck, Kozix. Okay, cut back before Strom's channel got shut down by himself. There was this one female streamer. She changed her username, so what was her username? I'm trying to remember, because she shut down her channel, rebranded it, but I'm trying to remember. Something like that. It was like Sis or something like that. She was a Filipino streamer, and she had absolutely amazing content, and Strom is a huge supporter of hers because she would always be trying to run charity streams for children's disease. I'm trying to remember the exact thing. I don't remember it, but it was for children's hospitals and everything like that. She would be streaming Telltale games, Tomb Raider, one of the Final Fantasy games. I don't play Final Fantasy, but it's one of them. It's the one that's similar to World of Warcraft. Again, I'm bad with names like that. And, you know, I would always love to pop shot and show up in a stream. I would drop some bits every now and then, and, you know, I really enjoyed her as a person. She was really funny, fun, really nice to listen to. She had a really smooth voice, and she has said that she has been approached to be like a narrator for a book, which she would be absolutely amazing at. She has a perfectly smooth voice, and yeah, she would have been the best at it. And I remember one time I took a large break from her channel. Fun fact, one of her moderators was also the moderator for AnyStrom01. So yeah, I absolutely love being on stream, but then I love watching her streams, and then after a while, I took a break from her channel, and I decided to pop some bits into her chat as like a big hello there or anything like that, and when I heard those bits, I found that I was permanently banned from her chat and channel. So I messaged her about this, and I asked her, what's wrong? Did I do something wrong? I'm really sorry if I did anything wrong. And she didn't respond to my message. So this is the first time I was ever banned from a Twitch chat, so I tried putting messages in her chat trying to see if I could bypass it, but then I realized that there was nothing I can do, and I'm just personally banned from her channel. So I reached out to Strom about this, and I was gonna message the moderator that she had on her stream, and it got to the point where Strom said that she banned everyone close to her on her channel because she wanted to start over. So she banned literally everybody on her channel like fucking Thanos, and she basically rebooted her own story as well as channel to where she had an entirely new audience, an entirely new set of friends, an entirely new set of moderators, and everything like that at all. And you know, the person who moderated for her, they were really close. They were practically best friends in a way, and she just completely cut the moderator off. And you know, that's heartbreaking. You know, just think about being such a good friend, such a little supporter, and yet you're just gonna get cut off. Yeah, exactly, Kozix. It is messed up. And like, you know, eventually I just grew out of it because I wasn't that obsessed with the channel. I liked watching it, but I had no personal attachment to it, like the female moderator. And yeah, then it got to the point to where I personally didn't really want anything. Like after the whole female streamer, that was a minor incident and everything like that, and with Strom, I just felt a big disconnect from his whole community, from his whole multi-community, and to where I just decided I would hang out on Moofle's channel because, in a way, because he was a UK streamer, it felt like he was an isolated part of Twitch, to where he was, of course, he didn't know of them, and he was upset that Strom ended his channel. He was upset that Strom ended his stream and everything like that, but like, it was nice to have a channel to where I could just hang out somewhere and I don't have to worry about like the outside events or anything like that. And fun fact, that one guy who got banned a while ago and kept trying to evade the ban, during that time, the whole female minor incident, he was still trying to get back to the channels and make that, everything like that, and we were all losing our shit because the guy couldn't take a fucking hint in the fact that we're not going to let him back in. He just wouldn't ever shut the hell up and just leave us alone because you fucked up, you wouldn't stop being an asshole to us, so you're gone now. So I'm trying to think back. Okay, so on Tripod Stream, there was this one female user. She wasn't a moderator or anything like that, she was just a user. She would donate lots, and I mean lots and shitloads of money, to the point where she would randomly drop $100 donations. She even donated to my stream several times, God bless her. And eventually we learned that she was like 17. Of course, we didn't have a real grievance with that because Twitch wasn't aware of it, and Discord wasn't aware of it. Discord's aware. Discord doesn't care about your age. Yeah, basically, Mr. Beast vibes. Basically, you know, those monster donations every now and then. And then, eventually, it turned out that one day we found out that she put a giant message in Tripod server saying that her parents found out how much money she spent on these random people on the internet. And it led to her typing out like a 2-page essay about how she's going to have a stream to where anybody that she's donated to, they should donate that money back, because if I've given you that money, then you can give me back that money. And that's not how that works, because for example, let's say I get a $5 donation. That's either going to go to a microphone that I'm going to buy or to my lunch that I'm going to get next week. It doesn't work like that, because half the time people aren't able to just immediately give a donation back unless it's from their own money, because one, they've already either used it, or two, there's already a disclaimer saying that we have no refunds simply because we either can't afford it, or that's simply the policy of our channel. And when we all try to explain to her that we can't donate back because of these set reasons, she lost her mind. She absolutely lost it. She hated us for it, and she practically threw a temper tantrum in the chat, acting like her heart was broken, all the sobbing emojis and everything like that, into where she just left after a while. But then eventually she apologized that she understood. And I don't know if she's still on the channel, but yeah. It was a whole messed up situation and everything like that, because she acted like she was Mr. Beast, but really she was just using her parents' credit card the entire time. It's a fucked up thing to do. Yeah, it's good that she understood in the end. I agree, Kozix. Trying to think. So yeah, I remember. So yeah, exactly, Kozix. Trust me, there have been plenty of people that have done that. So I remember at one point, I remember I was on. Oh yeah, so I was on Mooful's channel, and then he recommended Fallacy Skirt, an absolutely amazing guy. You guys should definitely check him out. I'll leave his links in the bio if I can remember to do that. Hopefully I will. But yeah, I loved Mooful and Fallacy's channel because, like I said earlier, they're an isolated part of Twitch to where, oh, sorry, hit the mic. Of course they are related in a way to the other channels that I've talked about, but at the same time, they don't usually interact with them as well as talk about them, because it's just a nice little corner of the internet. It's a nice place. And I'm trying to think if there's any more stories. I remember those guys. Something else I was gonna say. By the way, a late Happy Father's Day to any fathers in the chat watching or listening to this podcast right now. I doubt there are any, but you know, I guess this is how it is. Okay, so I remember, yeah, there was this one guy that I do watch on his channel. I do watch on Twitch. This guy's bad at all. He's an amazing guy. He still streams to this day. His name is John the Don TV. You guys should definitely check him out as well. Twitch.tv/JohnTheDonTV. I remember, I believe he would see Tripod's channel every now and then, and I would remember one time, he had his profile picture of just him with a really gleeful smile and a hat. That was his profile picture, just, you know, something like this. You know, it was really like kind of a wholesome thing, so I forgot to check out his channel because I liked his profile picture. And he would stream PUBG too. I remember I absolutely lost my shit over it because I absolutely loved it. Of course, I didn't play PUBG myself because I couldn't afford it. But I remember this one time, it would be him, his friend, and one other guy. Him and his first friend, they would just be arguing with each other the entire time. And this other guy would just be watching the background trying to just make sure everything's okay. And then I remember this one user came along. I actually don't remember his first username, but he came along and he became a somewhat of a regular user. But it got to the point to where he would be the type of guy to try and bring out his humor, quotations humor, by insulting people. He would always try and make fun of us or be a regular troll in chat. But not exactly a troll, it's more to the point where this guy's just gonna be an asshole just to try and look funny. And of course, the thing is, like, we didn't do anything about it back then because, you know, he was just some guy. We're just gonna tell him, hey, knock it off, and he would say, what, you don't have any sense of humor? And then he would back off at that point. And then eventually, he said he wanted to get into streaming himself, and all he had was a PS4 and a Chromebook, and I tried to explain to him that if you want to sort of set up like John has, you need to have this type of tech. And the thing is, he would always talk about how he was afraid to go live because his behavior would get him banned from Twitch. And I said, okay, you do whatever you want to do. And it got to the point where by the time he tried to do a stream, whenever he would try and do a stream, hold on a second, let me just make sure. Okay, good. Little background checks. All right, cool. Yeah, it got to the point where he absolutely refused to stream because he didn't want anyone making fun of his bad content and anything like that. So, cut forward into the future. This was about a month and a half ago. Actually, this is really recent. Yeah, this is about really recent. He was on a mutual friend server of mine. The guy's name is Val Starlight. He's an absolutely amazing streamer as well. You should definitely check him out. I know I'm shouting out a lot of people because I'll tell you, there's a lot of amazing people and a lot of amazing friends I made on Twitch. Absolutely love them all. Yeah, the guy's name is Val_Starlight. Good friend of mine, really best friends of John, technically on Twitch. I remember the user who was afraid to get banned on Twitch if he streamed, he would show up on Val Starlight's channel every now and then, and you know, he would do his usual talk shit, insult the guy just to make himself feel better and trying to be funny and stuff like that. And then a good friend of Val Starlight's showed up in the chat, and the guy, you know, I'm just gonna call him Mike. Mike sounds good. Mike would always make fun, of a female user who entered chat, and he would do literally everything he could just to try and make her feel like shit. And she would just brush it off. She wouldn't say anything at all, until the point where it became so annoying that she decided to say something back, and it got to the point to where once she clapped back at him, he absolutely lost his shit and started typing like fucking essays worth of you're not worth it, you should go kill yourself, everything like that, everything out of the book. And so it led to Val Starlight banning him from the channel. And then when I caught wind of this, I decided, okay, I'm a moderator for Val Starlight and John the Don TV, so I should make sure that this guy's removed from everywhere. So I found his Discord ID, I found his Twitch username, I remember sure his Twitch username, and I had him banned from all of our mutual channels, and then he sent each and every one of us a fucking 50-page dissertation about how I'm never going to watch your streams again because your content's never going to be as good as mine and everything like that. And yeah, I'm thinking, dude, shut the fuck up. You have a fucking Chromebook and a PS4, okay? You claim that your content's going to be good, and you're not even going to be willing to go live, when I literally went live with just a PS4 and a MacBook Air. Like, seriously, the guy could have better content than I could, and yet he refused to admit it. And it's to the point where the guy was so self-conscious, he couldn't ever do shit for quality content. It's to the point where he assumed that we're just a bunch of weird people and that we banned it for no reason. Yeah, that's nothing. He claimed he didn't do anything at all. and he did that. He didn't do anything wrong. When clearly that's not right. That's not okay for him to say that because, right? Again, he's not even in the position to say that because, again, his content's not gonna be worth it if you watch it. When I would watch the guy's content, he would only be talking like every 15 minutes or so, and he would always ignore our messages too. Whenever we would try and help him with his stream, we would try and do our best to carry the guy's channel, and yet he didn't ever want to pull any weight himself. So yeah, he got banned from all of our channels by me personally, as well as the other stuff, and then he messaged us saying that our content is never going to be worth it. Never going to be worth it. Never going to be worth anything. Obviously, to this day, as you can tell, that's not true because I want to say that I have a decent setup right now. I have dual monitors, I have a webcam, I have a really good microphone, as you can see on the stream itself. And yeah, obviously we're all set up, we know what we're doing. Okay, so cut back a bit. I would say this was at the height of AnyStrom's channel. Back when the female streamer was a minor started her channel as well. I decided that I'm going to create my own Discord server for people so people can vent and rant and everything like that, and just so they can talk. It's funny, I remember the profile picture of the server icon was John Constantine from the NBC. Just because I love the character and I love the NBC series. Shame that it got canceled by NBC. Fuck those guys. And I figured, fuck it, why not? What if I managed to start a Twitch stream myself? So I decided to stream off of my MacBook Air. Only thing is, MacBook Air is like paper thin. If I had a simple comparison, I would say it was about like that thick, if you could see it. Like as thin as those like little hair ties you see right there. Not that big at all. So you know, the CPU on it really wasn't worth shit. It would have a really bad lag, really shitty frame drops. But I remember there was this one game that ran like a smooth dream on it. It was Devil Daggers. It was like it's like a time-based thing to see how long you can last. It's like a little arena fighter that was like completely pixel-based, to where you would like be shooting daggers at like these monsters and demons that would try to kill you and stuff. And when my mom heard or got wind of the fact that I started streaming on Twitch, bless her heart, because she talked to some of her friends about it, and it turns out that you can stream on Twitch off of a PS4. So my mom decided to tell me to save up my Christmas money, and then she'll pay for the rest of it. And she decided to get me, or it was her idea to get me a PS4 bundled with Star Wars Battlefront 2 2017. And for those of you who don't know, the thing that got me into Star Wars was Battlefront 2 2005, the OG Battlefront 2. I would play the game so much that I became interested in the lore behind it, so I decided to watch the movies, and eventually I fell in love with Star Wars. But yeah, she got me a PS4. But the thing is, though, that I didn't realize was that if you have really bad internet and you try and stream on your PS4, one of two things are going to happen. The first thing is that your stream is going to be made of a billion pixels on screen. You're going to see every single pixel, and it's going to be a very pixelated stream because of bad internet. The internet tries to, or when you're streaming from PS4 to Twitch, it tries to recreate those pixels on stream, but it got to the point where it'd be really shitty on screen and everything like that. And two, if your internet is bad enough, the PS4 will literally appear on screen saying your internet is too bad to actually stream, to where I'll be streaming a little warning sign on the screen itself. And it's annoying and then when I eventually talked to my stepmom about this, she understood, saying that I need better internet because she learned that I can make a little money off of this. So she talked to the people at Spectrum about internet speeds, and they would fix it every now and then. Itchy nose. They would fix it for about 2 weeks or so, and then our internet would just drop right at the bottom. I remember I did an Ookla test speed. You know, it's like the first result if you get a type speed test to Google. My upload speed was 0.0 at times. How the fuck do you upload shit with 0.0 upload speed? Like, what the fuck? Like, honestly. That was Spectrum. They would boost our internet speeds for like 2 weeks, and then we'd have the same problem. And, you know, it got so annoying and so repetitive to the point where we decided to use AT&T. That's the internet that I use now, and I just ended up using internet. And, that's what we're using now. And yeah, everything's been great. So I would try and stream on my PS4, and things are great. Things were good. But I could just tell that the video quality wasn't exactly the best, and I wasn't ever going to be able to get any of those stream alerts that would pop up on screen, and that would be because, I didn't have a PC or anything like that. I just had my tiny little MacBook. And so a good friend of mine, Pizza Buff, I love that man. He's amazing. He gave me the idea of getting a capture card. So I bought the capture card at I got, instead of an Elgato like most people do, I got myself a Mirrorbox capture card, which is only like $50. It was super cheap for a capture card. And I decided to run it through my MacBook, but unfortunately the MacBook still couldn't handle the CPU usage because, that thing's as skinny as a twig. I can't run for shit. Doesn't have any power or strength at all. And I got to the point where eventually, here I am now, I managed to get my own custom build PC. I can run literally everything on 60 FPS. It's absolutely beautiful and amazing. And, okay. Sorry if I keep cutting back and forth. These things were just popping up in my head, so I'm having random memories about this, so I figured I might as well bring it up now. So, I remember I would stream Battlefront 2 for the longest time, and I remember I always wanted people to play with it, but for the longest time I had no one to play it with at all. I was completely on my own playing the game, and the March of Battlefront 2, I'd say the following March, the first March for Battlefront 2, the loot boxes were abolished and everything became free to play. And around that time, that's when I learned about PS Plus. That's when I learned that you had to pay in order to have an online subscription, which I don't mind. That's another story entirely. And that's when I played my first match of Galactic Assault online. And it was an absolutely amazing experience playing with all these new people. I remember seeing so many naval officers because there was no armored officer skin back then. And I remember I decided to join the r/Star Wars Battlefront Discord server, and I made a couple friends on there, and then we made a group chat, and then we invited some people to our group chat that we had our maximum number, and I said, hey, I have a Discord server. What if we take my Twitch Discord server and turn it into a Battlefront 2 server? And then they all agreed, and they all joined my server. And that's how the theme, the 66 Battalion, basically came about, because it was modeled after Battlefront 2 as well as Twitch with a whole Clone Trooper vibe, because when it was 2008, the Clone Wars series first came out, three-dimensional one, not two-dimensional, and that's what made me fall in love with Star Wars truly. I absolutely admire the Clone Troopers. I love them as characters. I absolutely love the Bad Batch. The Clone Wars and Bad Batch, they're probably some of my favorite content by far. And I figured why not make a Clone Trooper sort of theme. Yeah, I made a bunch of friends there. There's a bunch of other stories with those friends that I can get to in part 2. But yeah, it got to the point where we could have maybe 12 people. Yes, the watermelon clone. Funny thing, I've always loved my three favorite colors of all time would be number 1 is green, number 2 is red, and number 3 is blue. You can see blue in the visor. The funny thing, my Clone Trooper used to have a little teardrop like Tup did back in the Umbaran arc. But yeah, remember at times we even had so many people play that we'd have 12 people at a time, and it was absolutely amazing. I remember I still have this one GIF in Discord of all of us right before a 3-hour Supremacy match. It was amazing. We had no idea the match would be that long, to the point where some of us had to go to bed. And yeah, it was the best feeling I've ever had, just being able to stream on Twitch. Of course, back then that was my PS4 stream, so the streams weren't as good as back then. But of course, it was still nice to be able to stream and to have so many people to play with, because back then I played Battlefront 2 completely on my own. I never had any friends to play with until I met these guys, and these guys were absolutely amazing. They're good people, most of them. Long story, I'll get to that later. But yeah, that's basically my kind of little story on Twitch and Discord so far. There is a lot more to tell after that. I would say that sums up the majority of Twitch. If there's any other stories on that, I can absolutely think of them. But I want to say, Twitch has been kind of a hectic experience. I've absolutely loved being on Twitch, and I love the people that I've met on there. But if some people have noticed, I'm not exactly that active on Twitch. I can be sometimes nowadays, but I'm nowhere near as active as I used to be. I used to be the most active chatter in most of my friends' streams, but now, like, just because of everything that's happened on Twitch, I've kind of taken a more trait from that, and I've kind of focused more on Discord, you could say. To where I'll just rather be talking to people in Discord chat rather than be participating in Twitch chat. Not that I have anything against Twitch at all, it's just the fact that it just feels so different and just such an odd experience now just because of everything that's happened, and it's to the point where I need to change a pace. Which, of course, I just still do stream now, but because that's for me, I don't have to interact with anything outside of this, you could say. Well, thank you, Kozix. I appreciate that. I'm one of the only reasons you ever go to Twitch. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, so like I said at the beginning of the stream, next week we're going to cover the topic of fathers. We should have time to record that. I want to say we do. It should be at 5 p.m. the usual schedule. If anything pops up, anything changes, I will let you know. And again, Alex is working right now, so she didn't have time to participate in the stream at all. And of course, because it's Father's Day, we decided to actually dedicate our day to, the fathers, because they deserve it. Fathers, they do what they can to try and raise a young boy and try and inspire them to be the sort of person that they should be, the person that they should look up to, and try to make sure that they're a good person, you could say. So yes, I will have a lot to say on the father's topic later, but of course I'm just going to leave it there, and I'm going to find someone to host. Let me see who's live right now. Let me see. Well, I'll host a good old friend, Val Starlight. Her name is Clumsy Carrot. You guys should definitely check her out. And like I said, I'm going to try and do an actual gaming stream on Saturday. But the next podcast, the topic of fathers, the continuing category of the good, the bad, the memories, will continue on Sunday. And yeah, like I said, we're going to get back to that eventually. But for now, I'm going to cut the stream here, and I will see you all later. So I want to say thank you everybody who showed up, and I will see you all in the next stream. Just let me play this little ad out. I'm going to switch the window.